Hi everyone, welcome to the Q&A, live Q&A discussing U.S. immigration law. I'm John Khosravi, managing attorney of the JQK Immigration Law Firm. I come once every week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, to take your general educational kind of questions. It's just kind of educate the public about the situations that are happening with the U.S. immigration system. I know it's complicated, doesn't make sense a lot of times, so hopefully this could be a service to help you out with that. So definitely take a look and check out the other channels, the YouTube main channel, YouTube clip channel, where you have hundreds and hundreds of clips. Answer pretty much all the questions that come up in 2 or 3 minute formats there. And we're on LinkedIn and everywhere you can find us. Two other notes: we do give away free consultations. So every 10 minutes, my assistant will name somebody who liked, commented, and subscribe, who says consultation in a comment. And during the live show, every 10 minutes, we'll choose one person to give them a free video 15-minute consultation. So definitely check that out. And also, if you're interested in doing a marriage immigration case, a fiance visa, that kind of stuff, which is the focus of my firm, just go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook, a guide. It's going to really help you out. It's a breakdown of everything. It's the best one out there. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download the guide and see for yourself what kind of information it has, so that before you start the process, you could talk with somebody. You could know the strategy before you're talking with somebody. I think it's going to help you out a lot. And yes, with that, let's get it started. My I-130 got approved today. What do I do next? Well, congratulations. The I-130 petition for alien relative, it's approved that the family relationship between you exists, either brother, sister, sibling, spouse, kids, all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming you probably got a marriage one. If you filed a standalone I-130 and it was approved, chances are the foreign national is overseas. Then at this point, assuming all that is correct, consular processing will begin. So you have to wait to get a notification from a group called the National Visa Center, the NVC for short. The NVC will send you a case number and invoice ID number for you to log into their website and pay the fee and begin uploading civil documents, financial documents, and completing Form DS-260. Once that's completed to their satisfaction, they'll notify the embassy that in the country that you live in that's going to have your interview, and you then have to wait for an interview to be scheduled. Timelines I don't have because a lot of embassies are closed, and none of them are really closed. They just slowed down to such a drastic extent they're essentially closed. So there's long delays right now in getting an appointment. But that's a synopsis of the next step. I did a really thorough 15-20 minute video about exactly this. If you go to the JQK Law YouTube channel, there search consular processing. It's a very thorough step-by-step video that breaks everything down for you there. You can also check it out in the marriageimmigrationlaw.com ebook. I have the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, where I discuss the consular processing system, along with links to all the videos that discuss it. But thank you for your question. Shuba asks, how long is the I-751 process? I-751 is the removal of conditions. This is a person who recently got married and got their green card within 2 years of their marriage. How long does it take? Anywhere from 6 months to 2 years on average. It's a very wide range. When you submit the application for it, your green card will expire by that point, but the receipt you'll get will be an 18-month extension of the green card status. So you can use that for traveling and for work. But usually between 6 and 24 months. It's a huge variance, but it's the best, it's the most honest thing I could tell you. Joanne asks, hello, does a green card require me to be vaccinated against some disease? Yes, if you are going to be applying for a U.S. green card, part of the requirements is doing a medical checkup, which includes making sure you either have or get certain vaccines like DTaP, hepatitis B, if it's the winter influenza vaccine. There's a list of them. If you look at Form I-693 online and get a sample, on one of the last pages it has a list of the vaccines. You can check it out. Mumps, rubella, there's a name for that, the triple MMR vaccine. So there's a possible, unless sometimes there's exceptions, you could get maybe a waiver in some rare cases. But vaccination is part of the process to become a green card holder, whether you're doing it through the embassy or whether you're adjusting status in the U.S. And because can a student who is here in the U.S. in tourist visa can apply for a student visa? So you're not a student yet, you're a tourist who wants to apply for a student visa. It is possible. It's very complicated because the process to change your status from a tourist visa holder to a student visa holder takes so long nowadays, sometimes 8, 10, 12 months, that it really messes up with the time when the school starts and maintain your underlying status becomes difficult. You have to follow what called bridge extensions on your tourist visa. It gets really messy, so it's recommended you have an immigration attorney. I myself don't handle these kind of cases, or if you could just go through the embassy process through your country to get the visa, but that may not be a good idea depending on which country you're from. So there's a lot that goes into that. Unfortunately, they've made it much more complicated than it has to be, but that's what we're dealing with right now. Amir asks, hello sir, can I do 2 affidavits at the same time for my wife and sister because my dad doesn't work? Yeah, if your income's enough and stuff, that should be fine. If it's usually at the same time, doesn't even come up. But let's say you file for your wife first and she gets her green card, and then do the affidavit for your sister. You can still do it for her, it's just you have to see what your income levels are relative to the family size that you have. Ivy Mary asks, hi sir, I need to provide pay stubs for I-864. My husband's previous jobs he has done through direct deposit. Should that be a problem, or just send employment verification letter and 1 month pay stub? It's not mandatory that you send pay stubs or write an explanation letter from application. It's not mandatory. In the past, I wouldn't send them, but unless you have, continuous history of doing tax returns that are really high, you could just send that. Now, it's not guaranteed. Even if your husband does get direct deposits, there are pay stubs that are issued. You just got to contact the employer. So if you want to file pay stubs or send with pay stubs, you should contact the employer and ask for them. Pay stubs are mandatory. Each employee in the U.S. needs to have a breakdown of how much of their income is going to taxes, not. So it's something they have to provide you. So I would get it if you plan on submitting an application you want to do pay stubs instead of writing an explanation letter, because that explanation isn't valid, I don't think. But it should work out. You should be able to get that. Gurpreet asks, hello sir, can I expedite my individual hearing? You can't expedite hearings necessarily. I don't do court cases, so I'm not the best resource for this. But sometimes you could try to replace your case with someone faster than you. So if your lawyer, for example, finds another lawyer who has a case that's earlier, you can try to switch places if the judge allows it. That's something that's done in immigration court. One of our regulars, Paranoid Android, asks, after USCIS approval of an O1 or P1, these are people with extraordinary ability in the arts and athletics, that kind of stuff, is it an absolute requirement to apply for the visa stamp in my home country, or can I go to Mexico or Canada, then enter the United States? When you say go to Mexico or Canada, you mean apply for the visa stamp in Mexico or Canada? Or, so your question is different. So you're saying, do you have to apply for visa stamp in my home country? Then you say, can I go to Mexico or Canada, then enter? So if you're asking whether you can do visa stamp in Mexico or Canada, it depends. Mexico generally will not do the initial approval, interview for initial approval of a business case, an employment case. They'll do extensions under normal circumstances. Right now, they're just not doing third country nationals, what it's called. And I think Canada as well is not doing third country nationals, TCN cases. So it's just going to be hard to do that under normal conditions. Is hard enough, but under COVID right now, you got to see what the day-to-day guidance is at that specific consulate or embassy that you want to have your interview at to see if they'll accept it. They're probably not going to accept it at this time unless it's some sort of emergency or unique situation. I have requested to expedite my case on June 14th due to medical and financial conditions. It was a phone call to USCIS. The USCIS representative told me that my reasons are valid and they will evaluate my case and let me know if they need additional information. I still haven't heard from them and the case is insane. How long do you think they'll wait for the call again? So when you request an expedite request, the system is really inconsistent, and I've had it where they were supposed to email me and they wrote down the wrong email address, so I never got their thing. But if they're gonna ask you for more evidence, it should happen within 4 or 5 days. If it hasn't come, there is some sort of problem that happened in the midst. So you need to follow up on that or potentially ask your congressperson to help you, but you gotta be careful. If there's financial conditional issues, I don't know your individual case, but if you're the sponsor, financial sponsor, and you come and say, I'm not making enough money, or I'm gonna lose my job, that could potentially affect the case too. So it's something that you gotta really review and think about before requesting. But if you made the request June 14th, right now it's July 7th, and you still know nothing going on, it's not too bad. It's just USCIS is completely inconsistent, so it's hard to give an exact answer. They change their procedures every day on a whim. But usually if they're gonna follow up for evidence, it's done within a week. If they don't, expedites generally take 3 to 5 weeks for them to review what the situation, your case. Even if I knew the facts, I don't know. This is a constant battle I have with USCIS because they do things differently every time, and it's very hard to have a consistent expectation of what to expect from them. So unfortunately the answer is who knows, just keep following up with them and then get your congressional person involved. your congressman or woman, but be careful. You don't want to mess up the case by saying something that's going to be problematic later, so definitely think about that as well. One for kind asks, if you had a permanent residency UK and your file opens under F4 category, can I transfer my case to country I live? Yes, you could have your green card interview, and it's supposed to happen an immigrant visa interview at the embassy that you're residing in. So wherever your residence is, and that's where the interview will happen. If it's no longer the UK, you have to notify the National Visa Center when that stage starts to let them know that you've changed the location. Mohammed asks, if I had a previous marriage case in 2017 and it was rejected because my ex-wife and I did not limit the interview and she canceled the marriage, is this a reason to reject my new case? Yeah, in the last couple of years, it was a serious situation that if you had a previous marriage case and you withdrew it, or if something happened or it stopped, especially if you had an interview scheduled, and then you have a new marriage case later, they're going to go deeply and analyze that first marriage case. So you have to document and be prepared to show that that initial marriage that didn't work out was real, and the new one is real too. It's something I've been seeing some serious pushback and reasons for finding a fraud and misrepresentation. So I 100% recommend that you get an immigration attorney that's local to you that could come with you to an interview, because it's a serious problem. I think it's very, very serious. I've seen a lot of disasters happen in this fact pattern. Manish asks, what happens if I did not update my physical address in marriage-based green card process interview? Well, that's the big issue. Your green card is going to be sent to the old address. And if they do an investigation into your case, which they probably won't, but if they did, they go to the wrong address and think you don't live there and that you're lying. So you got to update your address. It's a serious issue. And if you move to a different jurisdiction where a different office is supposed to do the interview and they find out, they may not approve the green card and say go do another interview. So it's a cascading domino effect of issues that you could deal with. But that's why you have an immigration attorney to talk with, to watch out for your case on this kind of stuff, so to prevent these kind of just technical issues that are problematic. Superb C 2900 regular asks, good night, Attorney Khosravi. Any updates on the backlogs for immigrant visas? Are there any known lawsuits? Well, the backlog for visas pending at the embassy has only gotten worse. It's gone to 500,000. It was like 400,000, now it's 500,000. So it's exponentially just a mess. And are there lawsuits? There are a couple of lawsuits happening on all different aspects of it. None that are coming through, but if you are on Twitter, if you follow 3 lawyers, Charles Cook, Greg Siskin, and Jeff Joseph, they're doing a lot of lawsuits. I think Curtis Morrison's filing lawsuits on different aspects of this backlog too, especially for diversity visa lottery winners. So check out those Twitter pages. They give a lot of updates on what's going on with their lawsuits and the lawsuit situation. Selena asks, hi, if someone became a US citizen and went back to their home country to live there, now they want to come to the United States with their kids, can they come? Well, US citizens can go as they like. Now, the issue is the children. Are the children US citizens? Then they could come. If they're not, you gotta apply for their proper status. Now, whether they're automatically citizens or not, or whether they have to apply for green cards first, it depends on your background, particularly how long you lived in the US, at what ages. So we'd have to do analysis of your background to see if your children properly are able to obtain citizenship, and then they will contact the US Embassy and try to get that. If not, you have to file for a green card case for them and do the processing so that when they enter the US with you to reside there, they can apply and get their citizenship. Or you may just apply for their tourist visas if you don't plan on staying here. There's other kind of things. It gets complicated for children of US citizen situations. There's a lot of laws that change in this area. So it's something that I have to individually review to get analysis on. Tim Woodbreck asks, if the decision is made after the adjustment interview, would you be able to see it when you check your case status online? So, when you do a case in the US, especially like a green card case, and you have an interview, there's an online system where you can put your case number in on USCIS.gov that can give updates. They don't always update the system, so I would say like 80% of the time they update it. So maybe your green card is issued, it's approved, but you don't get a notice. Maybe 90%, it's getting better. It used to be like 60%. Most likely you'll be able to check online. Most likely what happen. But the main thing is just wait for notice in the mail. All right, everybody, that's it for today. We'll be back again next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time to take your questions. As you can see, it's non-stop questions, rattling off answers, general education kind of stuff. If you want to schedule a consultation, email me at info@jqqlaw.com. There is a consultation fee, but just email me first. Let me know what kind of case you have. Sometimes I can answer quick stuff really easily. We just take care of it like that. But with that, everyone, God bless, be safe. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this educational video. We have a second channel with much more information as well at JQK Immigration Clips. Please check that out. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.